Some people die when they're 25 and they're not buried until they're 75. And sometimes you really just have to get lost to find yourself. Start off with a quote like one of these and pair with multi-layered moving imagery and wow, that's really fucking good. My name is Kevin Neidorf. I am 26 years young and I live in Portland, Oregon. I first really started getting into bikes when I was 11 or so. I was in a summer camp, just got into mountain biking pretty hard, and I got full-blown obsessed with cycling in college. I worked in a couple shops. I used to be a key holder for a bicycle co-op. I used to be the mountain bike captain of our school's cycling team. I found a job in the bike industry out of college, moved to South Carolina. I was a little bit discontented with where I was, and I kind of impulsively moved to Portland, Oregon. Now I produce media content for the best bike shop in the world. We're not going to serve you a $5 pour over, and we don't have the trendiest IPAs on tap, but we have incredible people that work here. They're really talented mechanics and salespeople, and everybody is passionate about what they do. That's rare in any industry, and even in the bike industry. I used to be a mountain bike instructor for a couple summers, and I met a lot of really awesome international people that I wanted to visit. And I was at a weird spot in my life. My lease was ending. I had no obligations at all whatsoever. And I just always had this dream to fly into the tip of Europe, fly into Lisbon with a fully loaded bike and go as far east as Prague, and then nothing else was planned. I wanted to race Mega Avalanche along the way, just looked stupid enough to try it out, and I was beyond excited. I finally got everything squared away and I was really happy. My friend gives me a ride to the airport and he's circling back within 15 minutes of dropping me off to pick my bike back up. The airlines told me that there was no way that I was going to fly if it was over 30 pounds. If it was supposed to be 45 kilograms, I had to sort out all my gear abroad. My friend shipped a package that ended up being $1,300 at the end of the day for stuff I could have just got overseas. I had to find a bike overseas. The best option that I had was a department store bike that was a size extra large. I blew through 20% of my travel budget in the first week, but I finally got going. When I did get going, I got to travel up the Portuguese coast. I stayed with some awesome guys in surfing towns, did some of the El Camino route with some police officers that I met along the way. I went rock climbing in Grenoble with my couch surfing host. I got to race Mega Avalanche, which was an unbelievable dream that I never thought would get fulfilled. We got to spend the whole week up in Alpe d'Huez, and though I didn't do the famous road climb, I made up for it with all the downhill shenanigans, which I had much more interest in. The course was ridiculous. As somebody that grew up in Florida, I was a little bit out of my element, but one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. I slept in a lot of weird places and fields in Austria and forests in Catalonia and went on some of the most amazing roads in the world. But after 3 months of pushing along this 100-pound bike everywhere, I reached tour satiety, I guess, and just wanted to come back home to save up a little bit of money and restart my life and start planning the next big adventure, wherever that was going to be. The next trip that I'm doing is definitely going to be more off-road and way more off the grid. That was where I was most at home, and I'm a mountain biker. That's my favorite type of riding. You know, I really wish that I got off-road more this summer, but I just wasn't able to due to the equipment. I'd be a great Blackburn Ranger in that I am a media content producer by trade. I don't take myself too seriously. I embrace kind of all the disciplines of cycling. I'm fairly hard on gear, but at the same time, I know how to jerry-rig things when they go awry. I'm always up for adventure, for getting lost, for getting off the beaten path, and I want to push myself to document it more. Scotland has been on my radar for quite a while, probably since I was 16 or so. I first saw a segment of a mountain bike video that was a bunch of guys riding out in the Isle of Skye, and that was so unbelievably picturesque. I can't even count the amount of times that I've seen that. And same with the Rafa Ascent. That's my favorite road cycling film ever produced. The scenery is just surreal there. I've researched the Highland route quite a bit. It says that it's 80% rideable. I'd like to push that limit. I think it'll be fun. Makes for some good photos, if anything. Along the way, we'll have to check out some proper scotch, brave some haggis, listen to some Scottish folk music, swim in some lochs. If time allows, check out the Fort William World Cup. Saying this is a dream would be kind of an understatement for sure. I guess at this point, I don't really know what else to say. Cheers.
Thanks for the koozie.